Welcome to Professional Car Washing and Detailing's Wash Talk. I'm your host, Brian Ankney. Today my guests are Warren Davis and Fritz Seewald from Stinger Chemical Corp. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks for coming into town. Where'd you guys come from?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here in Akron. Let's jump right in. I'd like to get started with a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about your career path. What led you to where you are today with Stinger?
Okay, let me tell you. So, me and Fritz, we met in college at the University of Texas in Austin, Texas, and we started our career path there. When we graduated, we decided we wanted to be a little different, a little more entrepreneurial, and we started our company back then. That was 1988. We felt like it was a good year and a good time to do something special.
Well, guys, then let's dive right in. Let's put on our goggles and our lab coats, and let's talk chemistry. I know you guys like to talk about chemistry. What is new in chemistry these days?
Well, what's new in chemistry these days? Brian, chemistry is changing every day. Mm-hmm. And in the last 10 years, we've seen a renaissance in the automotive industry, both in the detailing side and in the car washing side, right? And in the car washing side, we see chemistry impacting the three most important parts of car washing, right? Cleaning, right? Drying, and shining and protecting, right? So those, to get a clean, dry, shining car, we see chemistry changing a lot. Mm-hmm. Number one thing we see changing is the chemistry is getting greener, right? The refineries and the manufacturer of the core products that we use to make our products are using greener chemistry and greener technology, and they're using products that are more efficient. That's the biggest change we see in the chemistry side.
You know, when you say greener, if you could elaborate a little bit on that. I mean, is it because you're using less? Is it because it's less harsh of a chemical? Is it like what does that mean to you?
A lot of the greener chemicals are safer. They biodegrade and break down quicker. They're not around us. I guess one of the terms they use today is an ever chemical or forever chemical, like some of your benzenes and some of your real nasty stuff is what I would say. And today the chemicals that are used break down really fast. They can be discharged into your water systems, and they're not going to hurt you in most cases.
Oh, wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well, let's shift gears, and let's say I'm a person and I'm thinking about opening a car wash. There's a lot of things to consider. I mean, do I want to have an in-bay? Do I want to have a tunnel? What about memberships? What about point of sale? What about how to pick out a location? What kind of guidance would you give a brand new car wash owner that comes to you guys to talk to you about setting up a car wash?
So when we get new owners coming to us talking about car wash, and we're getting a lot these days, people that this industry is driving a lot of interest, right? The first thing we want to make sure that they understand is the market. You have to know your market. Even though car washes are all across the United States and all across the world, each market we find is slightly different, right? So is your market heavy with express car washes? Are they heavy with self-serves or in-bay automatic rollovers? Or the car wash is non-existent? Maybe it's all a hand car wash market, right? So knowing the market, so getting our customers to look at their market and really understand it, because the customer has to understand that market better than we do, right? We understand the equipment, the types of washes, and what could work, but we really lean on the customer to tell us about their market. So that's the first thing we tell them to do. Tell us about your market, right? And if they don't know enough, we ask them the key questions, right? We want to know who's in your market, how many cars are in your market, what's the traffic light, what's the wash patterns for the customers that are in the market, and what's happening. And then from there, we can roll out a plan and a profile of what they want to build, right?
Okay.
The other thing I always tell customers that want to build car washes is a lot of the new customers think all car washes are alike. And I always felt like, and Fritz and I always talked about the successful operators, and there are a lot of successful operators. The one common denominator other than putting out a clean, dry, shiny car is they have a unique wash. and that wash is always developing, right? So we always tell the operators also, you always want to build something that's unique, that's going to give a good experience to the customers, that's memorable, as well as put out a good product.
Well, Fritz, it's a very common conversation amongst car wash owners these days, memberships. It's important to their business. Everybody wants to talk about ways to get more memberships and grow your memberships. But what about keeping the ones that you have? You know, what are some techniques and practices you've seen that have been successful in retaining the memberships that you do have and preventing churn?
One of the things you have to do with membership is you have to give them a memorable experience and allow them, and you have to go the extra mile for them because they're your customer. You want them to come back. Well, if it's the same wash here as down the road or down the street or around the corner, what does it matter where I have a membership plan? But if I go the extra mile for my customer and give them something extra, they'll remember me and hopefully they'll come back or they'll keep coming back to my wash. And one of the ways we do this, if we've seen this with multiple customers, is they do extra add-on packages. So you want to be able to deliver an exceptional experience to the customer that's quick and easy, fast, reliable, and memorable. You know, with this, some of the things, these extra services is what I would call them, is you add fragrance or glass cleaner or an interior leather conditioner for your customers in the vacuum areas. It's easily accessible, quick to use, doesn't slow down their time, they're in and out. But it's something they're probably not getting at other washes. And it makes the customer remember, oh, well, I can do everything there. I don't have to go somewhere else for it. I don't have to go down and get it done. I need a glass cleaner, I need a stain, I need this. And they can get it all in one spot. Brian, these products are high value adds that are quick use products, that are memorable products for your customers. And when I say, so I like the glass cleaner, it's a couple sprays, you're in and out. Fragrance, 1 or 2 sprays under the carpet, under the seat. They're quickly and easily accessible. Most of these are pole mounted. So they're between all of the vehicles. It doesn't take time to get in and out of your vehicle. You don't have to go walking around to find it. Customer comes in, vacuums the car, puts the products on the car, uses them, gets up and go. It builds that much more value for your customer.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I agree, Brian. You know, at the end of the day, that what the customers are looking for, as far as finding their wash, right? What I find in the industry that's interesting is, you go to some washes, and the customers feel like it's their wash. And what I mean by that, they're actually picking up trash that's on the ground that maybe someone else left because it's their wash. And being their wash and being an exterior express, which we see a lot of that's happening in the industry right now, when we put in these extra ads and give the customer that extra value, it makes it their wash even much more. Because if even the best car wash in the world that's an exterior express, how does it handle the glass on the inside? If the glass on the outside is as clean and dry and shiny as you can get it, but the inside is slightly dirty, you have to give the customer something to clean that, so he has that full experience of driving in a clean car. And that's what those extra add-ons provide.
Interesting. So are these add-ons, are they at a cost or are they free, or how?
Well, they're free to the customer.
Free to the customer.
They're at a cost to the operator. But when you look at the cost, you know, glass cleaner, it's pretty inexpensive product, and so it's a high frequency but low cost product. So when we're talking about adding pennies on the amount of cars that they wash, I mean half cents. It's a high value item. They're not going to use it every day. They're not. You may have your customers that use it every day, but in generally, you know, it's something that they're going to clean glass when it's dirty.
Interesting. So for the customer, it truly does differentiate your wash from the other washes, in that you're offering something at no additional cost that the other wash is not offering.
Absolutely, and that's how you retain those customers and those members. We want them to come back. You know, we seen a product. Many years ago, we were in Germany on a tour of car washes in Germany, and we saw the most unique thing. It was a towel program, and it's being unique that's important, right? So they had this particular wash had a unique towel program. They had logoed towels that their members would get when they signed up as a member. And they would, every time they came into the wash, as they entered the wash, they returned their old towel, they were given a new towel.
Oh, cool.
And it was a logo towel, so they kept the towel. They used it during the drying process. When they drove off the property, the towel was still in the car. They used it to wipe stuff down throughout the weeks or days before they came back. And when they came back, they turned the old one in, they got a new fresh towel. It's things like that we feel are real important to maintain and grow that membership base. Something that differentiates your wash from the other washes that you're being surrounded by.
And Brian, one of the things that does too is it keeps your car wash name in front of that customer the whole time. My car's a little dirty. Towel. Yeah, let's go back to car wash today.
Guys, I like to circle back to chemistry. When we met at the car wash show this year, I overheard you saying controlling costs through chemistry. And I didn't get a chance to ask you what that meant, and I'm curious. Could you tell us about controlling costs through chemistry?
Absolutely. Chemistry is such an important part of getting a car clean and the expense in a car wash that people don't realize the impact, right? And as a chemical manufacturer, some people would think, well, we want them to use more chemistry. Actually, we want them to use the chemistry the correct way. And so many operators don't realize the impact on their costs. Chemistry, number one, is a big variable cost in car washes, but it also impacts car washes in a lot of different ways. If your chemistry is dialed in, and you can dial your chemistry in, you can not only will you get the clean and shiny car, but you also may be able to increase your line speed and lower your water usage.
Interesting.
Right? So these are all things that can impact the efficiency of a car wash. If we set the chemistry up correctly, we can actually crank the line speed up and maintain the same quality car, get it clean quicker, set it up for drying, set it up for protection. So at the end of the tunnel, you have a clean, dry, shiny car, but you can get more throughput. Faster the line speed, you can lower your water usage a little, and those are all the benefits. So when I say controlling costs through chemistry, is we really have to look at it, because a lot of washes today are using a lot of different types of chemicals out there. I mean, there's a lot of manufacturers producing chemicals, and there's a lot of great chemistry on the market today. A lot of the operators don't quite understand how this works. So I've talked to operators that say, so what's your cost per application? Or what are you doing to set up your drying agents? Or what are you doing to set this up? A lot of very knowledgeable operators that know probably more than I do about chemistry, it seems like sometimes. But what I have found is there are a lot of I don't knows, or I forgot, or I didn't look at, And when you're trying to control your costs, you got to look at your tire dressing costs, right? That's as far as a cost per car, that's a high cost item. And a lot of operators don't really look at the cost of the tire dressing and how it's set up in the tunnel on their tire applicator machine, or even the bug prep, prepping in the front of the cars, training to prep the proper way, and making sure that you're using the right dilutions on those products to get the most efficiency out of the product working and to lower your costs. So a lot of costs can be controlled through chemistry.
Well, and a lot of times especially in a business that's so capital intensive as a car wash, where you've got land and you've got taxes and you've got equipment, I mean, those are fixed costs. So if you can increase the number of cars that roll through, those extra cars are profit. Or if you can lower the costs, if it's 10% that you can lower your chemical cost, that's profit. I mean,
it's extreme.
That's money straight to your bottom line.
Yeah.
Right in your pocket.
Yeah, and that's what I think operators are realizing now, right? And by no means am I advocating taking any shortcuts and not producing the quality car, because that's the most important thing. But making sure that you're using the product right to get that clean, dry, shining car in the most efficient manner and the most economical manner, right? We definitely advocate for people to put all the products they need on their car. But some washes and some locations we go into, there are things that are going on their car that are not needed. You don't see any improvement. It doesn't increase the show, but it's just on, and you ask why, and they just said, well, we put it on and we never took it off. We didn't try anything different. So constantly tuning that tunnel to get you the most efficient cost savings, but yet still not give up anything in quality of the product.
Well, guys, I know that you guys travel the world looking at car washes, and so I want to ask you some questions about the history of the express wash.
Absolutely.
Where did express washes start, and where are they going?
I
So
believe they started in Europe. That's where they've had most of the initial operations coming from there.
Brian, so what we see, what I've seen over my years, I've been doing this for quite some time, and the express washes, it's a good question. Where do they come from? Because you'll get several different answers. But my answer is the express washes came out of Germany, right?
Mm-hmm.
The German car wash operators are excellent operators, as well as the U.S. operators. The German operators had developed a program. It was a membership program,
Mm-hmm.
and they had an express exterior only program. And when there was a time, and there still is today, even more so today, with the International Car Wash Association having trade shows coming up in Germany and starting them while they were in Germany. What we seen was these U.S. operators were traveling to Europe and taking ideas that they saw in Europe, bringing them back to the United States and tweaking them for their market, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the express car wash operating came from. We've seen it in Louisiana. We've seen it in Detroit. We've seen that we felt those are the epicenters of the express car washes in North America. And where do we see it going? That's a good question. It's on fire right now. It's going everywhere, right? There's a lot of white space. A lot of people are moving into the market, and we see these washes are improving. The quality of wash is improving. The equipment's improving. The operators are getting more savvy. The marketing is just incredible now, and a lot more exciting stuff coming out there. The chemistry has gotten better. So I think the consumer is the one that's benefiting, and I think what we will see is more stuff that's happening in Europe coming over to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll see, I think we'll actually see it go into other markets. It may go from, we're saying it came from Europe, it got developed in the United States. It may go back to Europe in a different form, but I think the world is a big place.
Yeah.
We're going to see it in a lot of places.
There's dirty cars everywhere,
There's
right?
dirty cars everywhere. We travel the world, and back in our early days in the chemistry, we started in Asia,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we started in the coating side of the business in dealerships. And we've seen that go throughout the world, right? Everybody's seen the ceramic coatings throughout the world. We started this back in 1988 with coatings, and we saw, wow, it's big now.
Yeah.
Bigger than we can ever think of. That's how I feel about the car wash industry right now. It's big, but in 10 more years, it's going to be incredible. The world is the car wash market.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the United States, you'd struggle to go through a city and not see a brand new car wash, but then you go to other places, and they're very few and far between. So that there's definitely markets out there that are available.
Absolutely, there are markets even in North America, right, that are still missing car washes. Right, there are still cities in North America that have a lot of white space and availability for car washes. But you're right, the world is a big place, and there's a lot of places in the world where express car washes haven't shown up yet. But we think they're coming.
They're coming. Well, guys, is there anything more you'd like to share with our audience today?
I'd like to go back to put the goggles on question.
Okay,
right.
Let's put the goggles back on.
Let's put the goggles back on. And let's talk about chemistry, because I spoke a little bit about the chemistry and how it's becoming greener and more efficient, right? Mm-hmm. But how's that really impacting the car and the car wash, right? So I want to talk a little bit about two things: the surface of the car and the paints on the car, right? The chemistry, because it's greener, it's more waterborne chemistry, waterborne paints. What we see on the surface of the car is the clear coats have become softer, right? They've become softer, and therefore, when you run them through car washes, right? If you set your car wash up correctly, there's no issues. But we see car washes that get a little too aggressive, and they get a little marring on the car. So we see paint correction that needs to happen in car washes. The other thing that we see on the chemistry side is the surfactant packages that are being built now that are more greener, they're also more efficient. So spray, there was a time where you put chemistry on the car, it needed a long dwell time for it to really attack the dirt and loosen the dirt to be able to clean the surface. Mm-hmm. We're seeing the products today, it's almost instantaneously. We can get chemistry on the car and we instantly see the break of the dirt from the surface because the surfactants are really wetting out the surface and making it happen and making the car get cleaner. So in a car wash, what we see is as you go through that production part of the car wash, that work part of the car wash where you're getting the car clean, we're seeing the cars coming out cleaner than they ever have been before. And at the same time, we're seeing drier cars than we ever seen before because the chemistry change there has made the drying agents. Obviously, there's a lot more car washes out there, and the refineries are taking notice. So the refineries are putting more and more resources into building drying agents that work better because they want part of that car wash market as well, right? Us being located in Houston, Texas, we're surrounded by refineries, right? And a lot of times they pick on us. They want to work with our team just to help them develop products for the masses, for the market. Mm-hmm. And we've been fortunate enough to work with some of them, and they all tell us they're all excited about car wash because they're car washers too. They want to get their car washed every day as well, mm-hmm. right? And then the third thing that we're seeing is the ceramic and graphene craze, right? It's crazy. Everybody's putting graphene and ceramic on their cars. But what's even more crazy is the results, right? The cars are shinier than they ever been coming out of a tunnel. Would you agree, Fritz?
Yeah, it would. And one of the ways that they're doing that also is one of the best ways that I think is they're putting a layering process in place. Mm-hmm. So you have your initial car being cleaned in the front, and once it gets cleaned, they're putting a ceramic prep on it. Then they're going into ceramic triple colors. And everything's infused with ceramic along the whole way. You're going into the ceramic and or a ceramic with graphene infused. And then you've got a ceramic drying agent. So all of these little bits of ceramic being added in on top of each other create a really good layering lattice process. And when that car comes out the end of the tunnel, it's a wow. It's like, wow, that really looks good. And it's noticeable. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of the customers are looking for. They want to see, is there a notice on my car? Yeah, I hadn't been washing a couple weeks. Wow, looks good. It's what they want to see. And, we're able to deliver that.
We'd like to take all the attributes that, hey, it's our chemistry. Look, what it is it's the chemistry today that the refineries are making, right? Mm-hmm. All the manufacturers out there that are servicing the car wash industry have access to a lot of the same raw materials. It's how you put them together and how you use them in the tunnel that makes the difference, right? But one of the things that we do know is chemistry is changing, and it's changing because the demand the car washes are driving are changing how the refineries are building chemistry for us. And these raw components are performing. Cars are shinier than they ever been. And I think that's what Fritz is saying is the wow factor. Mm-hmm. When we say wow, there's clean, there's dry, and there's shiny, and shiny is wow. Because everyone wants to see a clean, dry, shining car come out the end of the tunnel. And when you can deliver that, the customers are noticing. Because probably, when I first started going to car washes, you really didn't see as much as that shine at the end of the tunnel unless someone put a wax on it. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was a quick detailer they were spraying at the end of the tunnel and wiping it down. But with express car washes, there's no labor to do that. So the chemistry's kind of changed and really morphed in that the products have been developed for express car washes to produce that same shine without the labor. Right, and so that's the biggest change I've seen in the chemistry, outside of it being green. Right, chemistry is getting greener and greener every day and more sustainable, which is important, right? We have a lot of cars on this road. We're cleaning the cars a lot every day. The equipment has gotten better. The reclaim systems have gotten more eco-friendly and have gotten better. So the whole industry in itself has improved a lot. And chemistry is one of those areas that's helping it along.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we can have cleaner, drier, shinier cars and be greener in the process, everybody wins. Happy customer, happy car wash owner.
Absolutely.
Happy refinery, happy chemical manufacturers.
Absolutely.
Everybody wins.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming to Akron today to join us for Wash Talk.
It's always a good time to come to Akron, especially this time of year, coming from Houston, Texas.
Oh.
It's refreshing. To get out of the 100-degree heat and come over here, it's a great time.
Yeah, what is it, 70 out there right now?
Yeah, we appreciate it, Brian. Thank you for having us. It's beautiful up here.
Cool. Well, thank you. And thank you for taking the time to join us for this episode of Wash Talk. I'm your host, Brian Ankney. Today, my guests have been Warren Davis and Fritz Seewald from Stinger Chemical Corporation. We hope to see you again soon on another episode of Wash Talk.